Hello, I'm Richard Greenstine, and with me today is a man who, at the age of 79, has decided to write a book entitled The Takers and the Taken. He's a great uncle of mine. He's from Florida, and I'm proud to have him with me. How are you, Uncle Harry?
How do you do?
Fine. Basically, what is the book about?
It's about the economic and social situation in the world and our country. And the main character in the book believes that socialism is the cure of all economic and social ills.
In other words, the solution to the economic problem is
Socialism.
socialism.
And the reason why I wrote the book is because, like most people, have something to say that they like other people to know. And that was my purpose. Of course, most people don't put it in a book.
Right.
And I was fortunate enough to write it and to get it published. And it's in big book form.
Right. That's very good. Why the name The Takers and the Taken?
Because our society is established in such a manner that some people profit by our way of life, while others lose by our way of life. The takers, of course, are those that profit, and the taken are those that lose by our way of living.
So what do you consider yourself, a taker, or have you been
Well,
taken?
I'll give you a little illustration. Take, for instance, the advertising business. There is no law telling any establishment or any business how much money they should spend on advertising. And advertising has become so big that it pervades every phase of business in almost our entire life. Now, the cost of advertising is added to the cost of the product, and the buyer, the consumer, buys the product. Mm-hmm. When we buy the product, we pay for the advertising. In addition to paying for the advertising, we also pay for the taxes, because the more money an establishment pays for advertising, the less money they have to give for taxes. In other words, that advertising represents some of the money that should go to the government for taxes. And the buyer, the purchaser, the consumer pays for the advertising and pays for the taxes, which makes him the loser and the establishment in business the winner.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about some of the incidents that happened. The character in the book is Joey, who comes over from Russia. And where does he go from there? Where is his first stop in the United States?
Well, the first stop is in Philadelphia. And, of course, he's brought up in Philadelphia, and he goes to school. But he has to quit when he's very young. And even before he quits school, he has to help to provide for his mother. So he starts as a very young boy to sell newspapers.
At what age is he? What, 8 years
old? At
old?
the age of 9, 10, he sells newspapers. And he builds up a little route. And an older boy gets into his route and takes his route away, or takes the customers, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that he feels that he has to give it up, he can't continue with it. So by accident, he meets up with a con man who sells whistles. And these whistles,
Are these little bird whistles that you put in your
whistles
mouth?
that can reproduce any kind of a musical instrument.
That's fascinating. That's phenomenal.
And he is amazed. Joey is amazed by this man who sells a whistle that can produce the sound of any instrument, and he stands and watches him. And he realizes that the man's whistle doesn't produce the sounds of the instrument. He does it himself in his mouth. He does it on his own. And he makes people believe that the whistle does it.
But it really doesn't.
And he sells the whistles for $0.25 apiece, and people buy it like hotcakes. And it interests him, and he stands there, and after the man is through, he asks him if he needs anybody help, and the man says, yeah, come over and you can work for me. So Joey is relieved by having a job to do because he wasn't making out with the newspapers. And he works for this man for a long time. The man shows him how to make the whistles and teaches him how to come and be a buyer. He gives him money to buy the first whistle to get started and all.
Yeah. You told me a story about the gas station that Joey had. Tell me, how much a gallon was gas in those days?
Gas at that time was around 7-8 cents a gallon.
7 or 8 cents?
Even less, because at that time, gas was selling for 8 gallons for $1, including tax, which was also a nickel. About 5 or 6 cents. Tax alone was about 5 or 6. So Joey finally winds up in the gas business, and he's a hard-working man, and he works hard, and he makes out. No matter what he does, he makes out, and he's honest, and he's serviceable. He likes to serve, and eventually he works very hard, and while he's working hard, he joins the workman's circle.
The unions?
It's not a union, it's a society, but a society for working people. No, Joey had joined that when he was a shirt ironer, when he was a working man, see? And he still belonged to it. And this organization receives an invitation from the Soviet Union, from the unions in the Soviet Union, inviting guests to come to the Soviet Union to see how they're doing things so that they can come back and report it to the American people. And when he tells his wife about this communication that was received from the unions in the Soviet Union, she insists that he should go because he'd been working hard and he needs a rest and a change of atmosphere. And she induces him to go on this trip. And he does go, and he does see how socialism is working. And when he comes back, he's convinced that socialism does work.
Right. Well, is Joey a taker, or has he been taken? Well, let's not answer that question, because I think that people should read the book to find out that answer, and to find out how socialism can conceivably solve the world problem of the economic situation and the unemployment situation and the health problems that we have right now in the United States. The name of the book, The Takers and the Taken by Harry Greenstine. It's published by Vantage Publishing Company.
Vantage Press.
Vantage Press,
Right.
out of New York. Thank you very much, Uncle Harry.
Thank you.